All right, I'm Ethan, founder of the Coronation Group. We've helped a lot of brands grow like crazy over the past few years, and over the past few months, we helped one client grow by from being unprofitable to doing over 1.2 million profit. So let's get to it. Customer research. This is the beginning. This is like the seed of your marketing campaigns. They're going to grow out of this. A lot of the time, especially people, especially inventors, are going to try to sell their product, but they're not going to know what angles they need to use to sell it. They're going to write the copy they think looks good. They're going to do what they think makes sense. And then when the customer sees it, it falls flat. This is going to be how you avoid that situation in your ad campaigns. So, introduction to customer research. First things first, as a business generates more customers, it becomes generally harder and more expensive to get the next customer, right? That's why customer acquisition costs will rise over time. So what this means is, as you get the early adopters, the early people, the first customers, family, friends maybe, the next set of customers you're going to have to get is like level 2. It's going to be a little bit harder than the previous set. Each customer buys the product for either one or more reasons. They buy it for a reason, right? They don't just buy it for the sake of leaving their money, right? And a big part of marketing is about figuring out what these reasons will be for future customers and then feeding those reasons to them. And you can't do that unless you understand your customers, right? If you understand the people who are going to buy from you, then you can be like, okay, they're going to buy for this reason, so let's present that to them so that they make the purchase. Now, as you understand your current customers more, it becomes easier and cheaper to acquire customers similar to them in the future because your messaging is going to make sense. It's going to be relevant, all right? Now, why do you want your messaging to be relevant? This is because your goal as a marketer, even if you're a founder, if you're doing any kind of marketing, your goal is to create an aha moment in the prospect's mind, right? Where they finally understand how much your product's going to benefit them, as well as understand why they need it, all right? The easier it is for prospects to understand your product's benefits, the more quickly they'll make a move to buy it. And that'll bring down your customer acquisition costs. Your messaging is basically a vehicle to get to that purchase decision outcome, all right? So this essentially means everything you're doing as a marketer is supposed to be designed to get a potential customer to understand the value, all right? You're working for that click. When the gears turn and they're like, oh, this is dope, that's what you're going for, all right? You're going for that type of reaction. You're not going to get that by listing off your product's features because you're like, that's like you're trying, but you're not getting there, right? You're basically leaving it to them to put it together and figure out the value. Your job is to figure it out for them and then just give it to them, all right? So features, listing them off, no. Listing off your features is better done after they understand the value and they want to buy it and they want to just understand the pieces of if it's a good choice to buy right now. You want to paint the picture of how good a choice it is with those features, but they will not get someone who is brand new or unwilling to purchase to a place where they are willing to purchase. You want to make everything make sense for them. So you want them to understand the benefits of the product, understand what it was made for, understand the outcome that you're going for, and then it'll begin to make sense to them. So here's what you need to know about your audience in order to be well equipped to do this. First off, the awareness level, right? How aware of your product is the audience? These awareness levels were made pretty popular by, I think, Eugene Schwartz in his book, Breakthrough Advertising. It's a good thing to understand, and I think it belongs in every piece of customer research. So here, you want to know how aware are they? Are they aware of the problem? The first stage is problem unaware, which is when they have no clue that the problem exists, even though it does, right? These awareness levels will help you understand what kind of messaging you're going to have to give them. If someone never heard about skincare before, you wouldn't talk to them the same way you would somebody who has tried 30 skincare products, right? You just wouldn't. Because one person, it'll be completely ineffective because they've heard these claims already. and now they're like less sensitive to it, versus the first person who essentially has never heard of this and they need someone to like open their mind to how it can possibly work, right? So the first stage, problem unaware, is when the audience does not know the problem exists, even though it does. This is either for a new product or for a product about a problem that was not previously seen as solvable. Problem aware. This is when a person is aware of the problem, but they don't quite know of a product that can solve it. So it's a little different from problem unaware, because in problem aware, they know the problem and they want to solve it. They just don't really know how, so it's not that big a deal. Solution aware, right? This is when the audience is aware of other solutions. So this is kind of like a situation where people have products for this, but they're not fully immersed in them yet. Product aware of many competing products, right? So this is a situation kind of like the skincare market, where there are tons of skincare products out there, right? And you are adding to the thousands of them. You go in Target, you see like a whole aisle full of skincare stuff. This is product aware. They're aware of solutions, but not just solutions, they're aware of products that productize these solutions into a box. It's more aware than solution aware, because a solution could be one convoluted way to do it that hasn't really been commercialized and replicated yet on a mass scale. Product aware is when there are lots of solutions for this. So, for example, an example of problem aware is bed sheets that stay on the bed, right? Some people, have a top sheet, and when they're making their bed, the top sheet falls off. If you make a bed sheet that stays on the bed, there's a company that does this called Kite Linens. Their market's problem aware, because people know that, you either like making the bed or you don't, right? And you know how to make a bed, so you know what's involved, but you don't quite think about it that much. But if there was a way for your bed to like make itself, it would be nice, right? But we don't think about that because we've kind of dismissed. We're not really focused on that problem because there hasn't really been that many ways to solve it. But there actually are products to do this. So that's problem aware. The problem exists. It's just that it's not top of mind because there aren't really many ways out there that are in our faces to solve it. Now the last one, product saturated, right? This can also be seen as a skincare market. But this is when the audience is inundated and tired of offerings, right? Many of which don't work. So this is when people have tried a million things, maybe like weight loss, right? People have tried a million different products. It's been a hype industry for years, decades perhaps, and people have kind of almost given up on having a go-to product that'll work. And you're trying to break into that tired market once again. I'm not going to go into how to tackle each of these because that's going to be a whole different discussion, whole different video. But these are what you want to make sure you understand about your audience. All right. Next thing, desires and motivations. Your customers' desires and motivations are of utmost importance because this shows what they want and why they want it. The what they want is going to be useful for you to understand what to give your customers, how to package your product, and the why they want it is going to be helpful for your copywriting, so you can speak to their desires and help them actually do what they want. They're not going to buy your product so that they can get something that they don't want or have no emotion to it, right? So the why is going to help you trigger their emotions, and the what is going to help you give them something that they find valuable. Questions to ask here are, what are the physical and mental problems that they're going to be facing before seeing this product, right? What issues are they having now, right? What mental reasons or desires do they have for using this product, right? Is it to improve their self-esteem? Is it to feel better about themselves? Is it to, feel less mental tiredness because they want to end procrastination? Who knows? What other options out there exist that solve these problems, and why might they, fall short or be inadequate? This is going to help you as well with your copywriting because it'll help you understand what options are going to be out there that they currently have access to that don't work. Avoidances. Find out what your audience does not want to experience, especially in other products. Best case scenario, you need to understand the best and the worst case scenarios for your customers, because this is gonna help you with copywriting, it'll help you with imagery, it'll help you with everything. All right. For example, best case scenario, a great example of this is let's say you have like a hair thinning product, and an example of a great ad from you can simply be a picture of very, very lush hair, right? Maybe a split screen. I think Nutrafol did this. A split screen of hair that's very healthy on one side and like the pill or the product on the other side. So you're just showing them product, result, one image, right? This is why you want to learn these things, because all of these things give you so much information that you can use for ad ideas, for copy ideas, for wording, language. So understand their best case scenario as a result of your product, and understand their worst case scenario as well as a result of your product. And then figure out their skepticism, right? You want to basically understand their possible objections before they happen. So what objections will they have to buying this product, right? Will they believe your claims? Why not? Why would they? Why wouldn't they? Right? Understand all these things. And what do they need to believe right now in order to buy your product? What false beliefs do they currently have that would prevent them from buying or slow them down? All these things are important. Next, defining your avatar, right? So your avatar is basically an imaginary person that is a combination of all your customers, or at least one set of your customers, all right? And this makes it easier to write to your customers because you're seeing it as writing to one person. And because of that, it's relevant to many people. So figure out their age range, gender, location, interests, and habits. Figure out their reading interests, right? What do they read? What magazines, what articles are they reading? This will help you relate more to them. It'll help you pick metaphors. It'll help you understand how you should be writing your messaging, right? What are their awareness levels, right? More of this. Once again, physical problems, emotional problems. This is what roughly a customer research table looks like, right? So essentially, based off this, you can begin to just write angles based on speaking to one of these false beliefs, or one of these emotional problems, or one of these physical problems. You can basically begin writing ads based on what's written here. This is a good starting point, and that's why you do that. Now, insights, right? The way you turn this information into insights is simply by looking at them and converting them into potential reasons and angles for buying this product. All right? Each of these pieces of information here need to be put into an avatar like I just did at the table above, and you want to make sure that you create at least like 10 to 30 angles for every avatar, because everyone has different reasons to buy. And a customer insight here would be a view into what someone's thinking before and after they've seen your ad. All right? So taking the information and making them insights would simply involve putting them in this avatar document, this little table here, and then beginning to write potential angles and potential views into this person's mind. And by doing this, you basically make your messaging and your audience research a really useful tool to just build ads straight away that you can continue to use and reuse and eventually have very relevant and impactful, not just copy, but imagery too. It's basically a compass. It directs you to the true desires and the messaging you should be using for your customers.